Let's not forget that the IRGC Quds Force has tried to implement terrorist plots in Europe. They tried to assassinate the Saudi ambassador just a few miles from where I'm sitting here. So they clearly have global reach, and all American.
Sam, I had a former State Department official text me a few hours ago saying I would not want to be in the Secretary of State's motorcade in any country going forward. In other words, that U.S. officials now need to be concerned that they could be targeted. I've heard you mention that we now need to assume that U.S. service members stationed in many countries overseas might be considered fair game by Iran. What does this mean for the security of U.S. personnel stationed around the world?
Well, John, it's not just service members. All American citizens are now walking prime targets for Iranian retaliation. The Department of Defense put out an important statement last night after this operation indicating what appears to be declassified intelligence that Qasem Soleimani was responsible for planning additional attacks against Americans, but also that he approved the attack against the U.S. embassy in Baghdad. So it looks like they were declassifying intelligence on that front, and going forward, we should really expect more of the same. The IRG Quds Force has demonstrated its willingness and intent to strike American citizens, to strike American diplomats who are afforded protections under international law. So in addition to the force protection measures needed for American service members, I am equally as focused on the American Diplomatic Corps, as well as all of the contractors that work for the U.S. government and other American citizens, not just in the Middle East, but around the world. Let's not forget that the IRGC Quds Force has tried to implement terrorist plots in Europe. They tried to assassinate the Saudi ambassador just a few miles from where I'm sitting here. So they clearly have global reach, and all Americans